Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to look at some of the beads I went and got at two of the local bead stores. Now these are the two that are south of Lincoln City, one in Depoe Bay and one in Florance. I was going to hit a third one in Seal Rock, but apparently they closed at the end of last September. So disappointing, but that is the way it goes. So let's look at our beautiful beads that I got. I think you're going to like them. I think they're gorgeous. So let's turn down and do that. I have two bunches of beads that I purchased today. This was my second bunch. This is from the US Bead Warehouse in Florance, Oregon. And we'll look at that second. Our first order was, the first place we went was Beluga Beads in Depoe Bay. So let's pull the beads out of the bag. There's a lot of them here. I got quite a few. So and this is the place that they are from, Beluga Beads in Depoe Bay, Oregon. Very, very they have a lot of fun things there, but I mainly go after the sea glass, and of course the rest of these are stone. So let's divide these up into sea glass and stone, and I will show you what I got. So we have sea glass. Oops, I'm about to drop a bunch of beads on the floor. We don't want that, so I'll have to get those out of there. So the one I dropped is a stone. In fact, one of my favorite ones. It is Botswana agate. So these are the glass over here. These are the stones on this side. Well, actually, there's also some horn here. So let's take a look at our sea glass first. And I specifically went down for a couple of different colors of sea glass, and mainly that was these browns. Now, these both state that they are camel. However, as you can see, they're a slightly different color. Slightly different. But that's actually perfect, because what I wanted these beads for was to go with our shells. Ta-da! See how well those go? Aren't those going to be pretty? And I also have some yellow, some pale yellow if I wanted to add that in as well. But like I say, the original plan was these browns. I was going specifically for browns so I could make the anklet with the shell and the browns. And these are a 6mm, and it states it's in camel. These are $2 a piece for the sea glass strands. This one also states that it's camel. So these are the two browns. Like I said, I'm going to use those for anklet with those shell beads. The next sets I got was some pale yellow. This one is called light golden. And this other yellow here, even though these are almost the same color, are just called pale yellows. Aren't those pretty? Those are my yellow beads. Next, we got gray. Now, I was sure I got gray last year when I was here, but I couldn't find the gray one, so I got a new strand of gray. Then I got some of these lovely, lovely purple. These are called blue violet. Isn't that pretty? Such a pretty color, purple. I also have a pink here. Now this strand's tag had fallen off, but this is a pretty pale pink. Aren't those nice? And as far as the pinks are concerned, we also have these two. This one, this smaller one, the lighter colored one is salmon, and this one is crimson. Now I gotta tell you, this is not crimson to me. This is more like fuchsia, and that's fine. I like that color, so I didn't mind that they called it crimson. To me, crimson is a deep red. This is more of a deep pink, so I would call it fuchsia. Now I also got this beautiful green. This is called lime. Now I gotta tell you, to me this is not lime. Lime is a bit brighter, but that's fine. I like this green just fine, so I'm not gonna complain. Then we have some blues. This one is called dark turquoise. It's 4 millimeters. I think it's the only 4 millimeters. No, one of the yellows was 4, wasn't it? And then this is a regular turquoise. They're almost the same color, so I think that's fine. So, and my last sea glass strand is this pretty color here, which I would call teal, but they call sea green. So each one of my bead strands here was $2 for each and every one of them. So $2 a piece, I think, is a good price. Then lastly, I got another little glass turtle. His hole runs through his head. I wish his hole had run sideways sort of through the body, and I might have put him in with the others, but it doesn't, so we'll just put him aside and decide what we want to use for him later. So that's all my sea glass. Next we have stone beads, gemstones, and this is horn. This one is, well, it says hair pipe, but it's red horn. I like this horn, and I've got some little rondelles that will look good with these horn beads. That is the red, and this one is, come on, let me have it out of here. I obviously got it into the bottom. This one is black horn. So again, I have some rondelles that will look really nice with these. So there is my horn. They call this type of bead strand a 1/2 inch hair pipe. So that's the black. And now we're to the gemstones, the good stuff. Let's pull them out one at a time. Here's bronzite, a 15-inch strand of bronzite rounds. These were $19.95. Next, I got a strand of goldstone. Now, yes, I know goldstone is man-made, but that's all right. I like it anyway. This was $19.95 for this strand of rounds. Next, we have this beautiful, beautiful, almost clear amethyst. It's a A+ strand, 10 by 14 millimeter oval, faceted ovals. Its price was $29.95. Aren't those pretty? I do love amethyst as well as, you know, I didn't get any carnelian. How very strange. Anyway, our next strand, this is our most expensive strand. It was $39.95. This is moonstone. And I know I saw some flash in here earlier. I'm not seeing it right now, but that's all right, because I do love a moonstone. Aren't those pretty? So as I said, these are 10 millimeter moonstone rounds, and you know, it says faceted rounds. There's no faceting on these rounds. There's those flash right there. Anyway, $39.95 for the strand. Oh, there we go. There's some flash right there too. Anyway, moonstone. Next, come on, let me have the jaspers. We have a jasper. It says Jasper Mix in ovals. These were $18.95. They're very, very pretty. And apparently they're a mix of various jaspers. I really like this one. Isn't this pretty? So is this gray one. Ooh, there's one with a red stripe. This one's cool. Oh, I like this one with the red with the spots. I had fun choosing these. This is another really nice one. So that is the Jasper Mix. And these last three strands are exactly the same thing. They are Botswana agate. And aren't they gorgeous? Now these were $22.95 a strand for the Botswana agate. I love this one. Look at this black inclusions. Isn't that pretty? And there's some really, really pretty striped ones like this one here. Isn't that gorgeous? Here's one with some light stripes going up and down it. This one is really, really neat too. How about this one with this cool looking triangular in the middle and then some stripes. So I do love Botswana agate, and these are really great ones. There's some pretty ones. So there's strand 1, strand number 2. This is the one with these inclusions of the black in it. And we have some really neat stripes here. This one has some oranges in it. This is a really cool stripe, and is this one right here. Strand 2. And then strand 3, there's actually a yellow one in here. This is a cool striping here. And this is really nice. So that's really pretty on this side. I like it better on this side. So we go down the line. There's some neat stripes there. Here we go. So that is my order from Beluga Beads. Now I get a 10% discount there because, well, I buy a lot of stuff. But even so, this package of beads, everything cost me a little over $220. So not a cheap bunch of beads, but oh, so very, very pretty. So our next bunch of beads came from the US Bead Warehouse. Like I said, I was going to go to a third bead store, Beadcombers, in Seal Rock, but they had closed they've closed down since we were here last year. Apparently at the end of September, beginning of October, so that was a very, very sad day for me to hear that. So here are our beads that we got from US Bead Warehouse. So according to this, the first thing is check glass, $3. That's this little strand of discs. Aren't those a pretty purpley color? So there is our first strand. The second one is more check glass, and these are large hole, and they were $4 a strand. As you can see, there's a large hole here. Now these are like the ones I already have at home, and I used them in something the other day, but I can't remember what it was. But this is purple with a silver interior check glass. These were $4 for each of these strands. Next is the matte sea glass large aqua pebble beads, and that's these guys. These are $10 for this this big huge strand of pebble beads. Now they have a regular size hole, which is almost sort of a pity because you can't put them in on leather or anything, but they are a really, really pretty sort of pill disc sea glass. Next we have matte sea glass and aqua nuggets again, but these are this. You know, if you get Bead Box Bargains, you will have seen these in green because Bead Box Bargains or Bargain Bead Box sent them in one of the kits in a green color. So these are blue. aqua actually, and these cost $6 for this strand. The next thing I'm going to put aside for a minute, and we'll go over it in just a few. But the next after that is 2 strands of check glass, $4 each. That's these guys. These crystals, one cobalt and one topaz. They were $4 for these really long strands. As you can see, they're very long and they're very pretty. So that's check glass in aqua, and I think that's probably that light brown is probably a topaz color. So there's those 2 strands. Then we have a strand of watermelon quartz, 9mm faceted watermelon quartz for $6. I thought that was a really good price for these watermelon quartz. They're very, very pretty. So $6 for those. And the last thing on this list is copper spiral style beads. They have a pretty good size hole, so I think those will work good with leather. These were $5 for 30 pieces. Now this isn't on that list because she said this was a trunk show item, so she had to bill it separately. It was $9, and it is cherry quartz. And it's a very deep cherry quartz, and it's very, very pretty. So there we go, $9 for those. So now the last thing from this store that I got, and like I said, I put it aside, we will look at it now. It's called Botswana Agate Chunky Nuggets. They cost me $10 a strand for these. Look at these beautiful beauties. And they were only $10 a strand. She said she can't get them for this price anymore. She had about 10 strands left, and I got 2 of them. Look at this one, isn't this pretty? With this orange striping through it here. And I think these are gorgeous. I love Botswana Agate. How about this one that's got the black striping in it? Or even this one over here with some nice gray striping here. But these are stunning. And like I said, she told me they were $10 for each strand. So I paid $20 for the 2 strands. And she told me that she had about 10 strands left. Well, I took 2 of them. And she couldn't get any more, especially not at this price. So I contemplated buying more just because they're such an excellent price. But I didn't. But there we go. Botswana Agate Chunky Nuggets for $10 a strand. So my whole purchase from US Bead Warehouse was $75 for these. So there we go. That is my second purchase, and I thought they're gorgeous beads. I really love them. I hope you enjoyed opening my beads with me. Like I say, I had planned on going to a 3rd bead store today, the Beadcombers store, but they had closed down this year, which is sad because now that makes 2 of my bead stores that I normally go to when I come down to the beach that have closed, because the other one was the Long Beach Bead Store in Long Beach, Washington, just across the Columbia River from Oregon here, and that one closed down a couple years ago, and this one is now closed. So very sad state of affairs. So I will be going to Belladonna Beads as we leave because they're closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, so I won't get to them until we're going home. Here we go. That was my bead purchase from Beluga Beads and from US Bead Warehouse. And I think so I got some really pretty ones. Like I said, those Botswana Chunky Nuggets from US Bead Warehouse at $10 for that strand. I think I counted 23 nuggets on the strands. it's just a spectacular buy in my opinion. So I really, really liked those. I hope you enjoyed opening these, seeing what I purchased today. All in all, between the two stores, I spent $300 on beads today. And that won't be it because I'll be stopping at Belladonna as we leave. But, gotta have my beads. And aren't they pretty ones? This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.